Welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me as always is...
Franklin.
And...
Rob Morphy.
Thank you for joining us. Before the pod, we all had a discussion about how we normally record on Fridays, but we're recording this on a Saturday. We all managed to get separately fucked up.
Oh.
You're feeling it, I can tell.
Like, the better part of a bottle of Tullamore Dew is still lingering in my gut right now. I'm lucky I can read.
All
Everything is a haze of pain.
And Christopher?
Yeah.
You drank yourself into a coma?
I had more barrel-aged stouts than I should have.
Okay. Excellent. And I got pretty trashed watching American Gods. So,
I mean, clearly, when we're not together, we're making even worse decisions than when we are.
So, like, in a sense of like AA,
yeah.
Not that we're not still gonna stop drinking, but maybe we're just like together we make better drinking decisions.
I don't know if that's exactly true, but
maybe.
I suppose it is by comparison. We mitigate ourselves a little bit better.
Maybe because when we're together, we're doing a show.
That's true.
So we do have to kind of like tamper down a little bit.
This is definitely the most hungover I've ever been doing a podcast.
Okay. All right, good. Well, you know what? We're all hungover. We're all here.
Yep. And we're going to give it our all.
We are.
Our very best foot forward.
But before we get started, a nice friendly reminder to everyone, find us in the social medias. The Instas, the Twitters, and the Facebooks. As much as I hate the Zuckerberg universe, I do got to say I am thoroughly enjoying our Kryptonaut fan page that was created for us.
Yeah.
The fan group is fun, so check that out. The link will be in the description. That's a good time. Patreon, Kryptonaut Podcast. Patreon. It is patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast.
It's awesome.
It's fun. It's a good time. You get $1 gets you a shout out. $5 gets you a shout out and some bonus audio content. So do that up. Thank you all to everyone who has been contributing to that. It means a lot to us. TeePublic. There will be a link in the description of this podcast for our T-shirts. And that's going to do it. That's everything.
Pretty straightforward.
Ratings and reviews help us too.
Oh, yeah.
Leave those.
On the Apple
Reviews.
things.
On the Apple podcast and or the iTunes. Those are two separate. It's a thing.
You have to make sure they're separate.
Yeah.
If you don't
I know.
acknowledge it, it's trouble a-brewing.
I don't know, man. It is what it is. But leave those there. We appreciate all those. And we will be getting back to those eventually.
Oh, absolutely.
After we get through our Patreon shout-outs, we're going to get back to some reviews because we have a bunch of them come in. There's actually a couple funny ones, actually. So we're going to get back to those. Well, this week we're talking about the green-clawed beast.
Indeed we are.
On a sweltering summer's day in the mid-1950s, a pair of friends and their children decided to beat the heat by taking a dip in the cool depths of the Ohio River. Little could they have anticipated that this routine midsummer outing would transform into a living nightmare, resulting in life-or-death struggle that none of them would ever forget.
Not a one of them.
I read that a little choppy, but I don't care.
Oh, we're just going to get our way through this. We're
Okay.
We're going to dig down
All
deep and make this happen.
Intestinal fortitude.
Intestinal fortitude with Chris and Rob.
Oh, my God.
I said that in the bleakest. I was like, intestinal fortitude.
See, I can get pretty shit-faced pretty quickly, and then I can go immediately to bed, and I can get up at 8, and I'm doing the lawn. I was out today at like 8:30 cutting the grass. I was getting the yard prepped. I'm out there. Suburban dad.
Dude.
I took my daughter to the daughter dance. We danced all night, ate pizza. I came home, got shit-faced, and then woke up nice and early to get the lawn done. I am the very embodiment of a dad.
Yeah, you are. Dad incarnate. And we're all proud of you.
Wow.
Thank you.
But let's get back
All right.
to the green cloud beast. And in so doing, as we so often like to do, let's establish a place.
Paint us a picture, Robert.
Situated on an oxbow in the notoriously paranormal-prone Ohio River, the region now known as Evansville, Indiana, has been continuously inhabited by various indigenous cultures for at least 10,000 years. This fucking patch of land has been just chock full of humans.
10,000 years?
10,000 years.
Damn.
Göbekli Tepe times.
Does that work with a calendar?
What do you mean?
I mean...
Like, do calendars go back that far? Can we measure time back 10,000 years? I'm going to say yes on that if that's what you're asking. if you're asking something else.
I just wanted to get you into a time debate. Like, is that...
Yeah, no, we're aware.
Are we only 2,000 years old, Rob?
Oh, my God. Wow.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
Son of a bitch.
All right, continue. Sorry.
While the fertile land and abundant water has lent itself to flourishing human settlements in this so-called Crescent Valley, the river that feeds it has been known to harbor more than its fair share of inexplicable creatures. There have been reports of everything from frogmen, we know so well in Loveland,
We do.
to an indescribable octoman.
Oh, one of our favorites.
But only one entity has been noted for its violent disposition. It happens to be the one we're dealing with today.
Okay.
On August 21st, 1955, Naomi Johnson, along with her 3 children, Daryl, Darwin, and Sandra. Darwin's an awesome name, by the way.
Pretty cool name
If I have
for-
a son, I want him to be named Darwin.
I'm going to start calling my son Darwin.
That's
Actually, his name's Charles, so I'll call him Charles Darwin.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, there
Great
you go.
nickname.
Snap.
There it is.
Okay, so we have Naomi Johnson, her 3 children, as well as her best friend, Louise Lambell. Or Lamble. I think I'm saying that the right way.
Sounds good.
Okay. We're traveling to a remote spot on the Ohio River not far from the Evansville neighborhood of Dogtown. Doesn't that sound like just a shady neighborhood?
Like the skateboard? Dogtown
Towards the
skateboard?
Dogtown?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Yeah. My first tattoo? Dogtown.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No
there it
doubt.
is.
In order to take a refreshing plunge into its murky, mud-stained waters in order to escape the blistering 102-degree heat wave.
Real quick. Murky,
Snake.
mud-stained water's not where you want to swim. You know why? Leeches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Water moccasins,
All sorts of ill shit.
squirrels, water squirrels.
Water squirrels?
Yeah.
Are you really fucking saying this to me out loud on purpose?
If you believe me, you believe me.
Oh
you
my
won't
God.
go near water because of water squirrels.
Water squirrels.
Here's the fucked
blood
up thing.
otters.
Blood otters.
I get-
Blood otters!
They're so adorable, but they fucking kill
Oh my
you.
God.
They
Do
go
they-
up your ass and eat you from the ass out.
Do
Yeah.
they wage war with the water squirrels?
They do, dude.
The
It's
Dobar
crazy.
Chew, the water squirrels,
Oh,
and the blood
the
otters.
Dobar Chew. Good pull.
They do. Dangerous
Fucking A.
flotsam.
Mr. Cryptozoology. Good pull.
When you don't have a fucking pool and it's 102 degrees out, you just have to fucking
We've all
you have
done
to brave
it.
the waters.
We've all swam in. I mean, we have a nice lake, but we all go swimming in rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, or is that just me?
No, we used to go bridge jumping into the filth. And
Oh, absolutely.
I don't even know why.
Yeah, no.
I
it's
can't even
gross.
believe he did it.
Yeah.
Because it was there. The filth is there. We shall dive in.
All right.
All right. According to some reports, on their way to the swimming hole, someone in the vehicle noticed a strange object hovering in the sky that was described as resembling the bottom of a bushel barrel. And we all know what that is. I think it's a barrel for bushels. I'm assuming
the
it's like
fuck's a
one of those
bushel?
fucking apple barrel things.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
woven
like when you
with
go
metal.
pick apples with the kids and shit.
I think that's
As
what
you
it
want
is.
to do.
I could have Googled it, but I had the whiskey sweats earlier, so that didn't happen.
Those are the worst. It's worse than the fucking meat sweats.
Either the adults in the car were not able to see the object, or it was too indistinct to make much of an impression because the group continued on their merry way without so much as pausing for a better look at the airborne anomaly. So you see your floating fucking apple basket, and you're just like, fuck it. We're
Yeah.
not going to the orchard. We're going to take a dip. When they finally arrived at the river, Naomi, the strongest swimmer of the bunch, dove right in. Louise, less assured of her swimming skills, drew an inner tube up to her waist, waded into the river, and lazily let the current draw her into the open water.
Okay.
Daryl, Darwin, and Sandra remained on the bank while their mother and her friend took to the cloudy water. It is unclear whether they were afraid, reluctant to get cold, or just busy at play, but whatever their reasons were for remaining on land, it would end up being one of the best decisions of their young lives. While Louise spun around in her inner tube, Naomi kicked her feet, savoring the warm sun on her face and the cool liquid keeping her afloat. She had drifted about 45 feet from the shoreline and was likely thinking about paddling back in when she felt something coarse and seemingly hairy brush against her calf. That's the first thing.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Being in water and just having a fish hit your leg.
Oh,
You get that weird.
you get that chill.
You get that icky toes.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, icky toes, and you gotta get out of there. Yeah, it's gross.
It's a bad scene. Naomi was startled, but probably not too alarmed. After all, the Ohio was a wild and thriving river full of living creatures. She likely dismissed the whole thing as a run-in with a catfish barb or something equally mundane. And that is when the unthinkable happened.
The unthinkable.
Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. It's the unthinkable.
unthinkable.
Don't think about it, dude.
Without warning, Naomi felt a large, hairy, three-clawed hand clutch her around the knee and yank her downward with inhuman strength. The young mother struggled to disengage herself, managed to kick loose the claw, and broke through the water with a blood-curdling shriek. Bad, just bad.
Yeah.
Her children and her best friend could only stare in horror as the distraught Naomi gasped, "Something's got me," before once again being wrenched beneath the surface of the river.
Oh, so she got pulled underwater.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it
Under-
was grabbing at her and trying to get her down.
grabs,
It actually
yanks,
pulled her.
and
Yeah,
then
she went
down.
under. Oh, shit.
So this is the second
All right.
time she's down.
Oh, boy.
Miraculously, Naomi was able to kick her leg free a second time, but her underwater assailant was unwilling to give up so easily and swiftly seized her again, this time from behind. With barely a moment to take another fleeting breath, Naomi was sucked back into the seaweed-strewn depths. Louisa's screams for help echoed down the shoreline as she helplessly watched her friend being pulled below the river's shadowy surface once again, so it's up and down, barely catching her breath. She gamely tried to paddle to her friend's aid, which is ballsy. She can't swim, she's in an inner tube, she doesn't know what's going on, but at least she's trying to do something.
She's making the attempt.
She got to give her points for that.
Yeah.
After resurfacing a third time, Naomi lunged for Luisa's inner tube, and the splash of her impact apparently scared her unseen aquatic attacker away, or maybe it just got bored of the chase. Despite her inability to swim, Louise did her best to help Naomi get safely ashore. Once back on the riverbank, Louise inspected her friend's multiple lacerations, all of which seemed to be covered in a bizarre blue mud.
Oh, you got alien muck on you?
Alien muck.
Gross. You got predator blood. Oh, predator blood's green, but and alien blood's acid, so that wouldn't work. So
Some sort of non-human
I'm
blood.
just gonna call it, muck.
Right. But it's not, it's not
monster
mud.
muck.
Yeah, it's monster muck. Exactly.
Is that a drink?
It probably is.
Like a Four
It's
Loko
probably-
knockoff?
Yeah, it's probably some nasty fucking spring break
Do you guys remember
shit.
drinking Four Loko?
Unfortunately.
All right, good. Just making sure.
I
That's
never did.
debilitating.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh,
It sounded like a nightmare.
It was pretty bad.
yeah, it's regrettable.
Yep.
When the mud was washed off, Louise saw that Naomi's leg had several scratches that stretched from her knee to her ankle. But what was most perplexing was the distinct three-fingered handprint that had apparently marked her leg, staining the flesh with a peculiar greenish-blue hue. No matter how vigorously she or Louise tried to wash it off, the palm print remained. Even after medical help arrived, they too were unable to remove the stained claw mark from Naomi's leg. So, all right, weird blue muck, whatever, but a stained handprint.
Is it like an impression from force?
You know, you would think, like, is it a bruise in the
Yeah,
shape
So
of a
that's
hand?
what I'm trying to
thinking,
figure
yeah.
out.
It's
Like,
not. It's an unnatural colored stain
Okay.
that basically just won't come off.
All right.
In defiance of all logic, the print remained on Naomi's leg as a grim reminder of her ordeal for several days until it simply faded away, seemingly of its own accord. Although neither Naomi nor Louise were able to get a clear or sustained look at the allegedly scaly creature, and it's allegedly scaly because some reports indicate that as Naomi glanced down, she could see like little flashes of like basically scales.
Okay.
So, you know,
But there's hair too.
Yeah, she
Right?
said that she could feel that it was hairy.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but was it hairy?
So
or were there-
scales and
were there,
hair?
like, little tendrils on the palm. I mean, who knows if it was actual hair?
Scales and hair. Aquatic ape, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Hmm.
So, even though she didn't get a good look at this creature,
Right.
the sheer size of its palm seemed to indicate that it was of prodigious size. Although the alleged photo of the claw print has never surfaced, some sources claim that there not only exists photographic proof of the marking, but that someone had the presence of mind to collect a sample of the blue mud, which was then sent to the University of Pittsburgh, where it was apparently determined that the clay-like substance would be found in an underwater cave. Perhaps the den of the beast? Who knows? Maybe the Ohio River is riddled with caves. Again, this is where the newspaper reports and the apocrypha kind of intermingle a little bit. And so you don't know, like, was it really a photograph? If there was, why is it never surfaced? You know, and if somebody saw the blue mud, they say, oh, yeah, that's what you find in the deep caves? Or did it really have to get tested in Pittsburgh? You don't know, but I'm going to just report it as I read it.
Okay.
An interesting addendum to the case was reported by investigator Terry Colvin. Colvin, who had interviewed Naomi and her husband Darwin Johnson, claimed that soon after the incident, they were visited in their Godtown, Indiana home by an individual who claimed to be an Air Force colonel.
Whoa.
Apparently, this colonel took extensive notes regarding Naomi's encounter with the green-clawed beast, then admonished the couple to speak no further about the incident.
The fucking government's involved? Like some Men in Black type shit, sort of?
It really smacks of it.
All right, weird.
This epilogue has no doubt caused more than a few ufologists to prick up their ears, as it not only bears some striking similarities to classic governmental interference with eyewitnesses, but also because Naomi's bizarre encounter shares the exact same date, August 21st, 1955, as one of the most terrifying cases ever recorded in the annals of ufology, an encounter with strange, bulletproof beings from out of this world, commonly referred to as the Kelly Hopkinsville Goblins.
Oh, really? This ties in?
Just right
No
over
shit.
in Kentucky. So that's the same exact day.
Oh, all right.
Unless
cool.
we forget, out on the West Coast, the Casablanca entities. So this is like a trifecta of fuck all going
All
on
right,
at this
the
point.
the fuck all trifecta. The trifuck.
The trifuck.
All right.
Trifecta.
Trifecta.
Naomi herself, who was quoted in stories published in the August 23rd issue of Indiana's Vidette Messenger and the August 24th issue of California's Independent, believed that her leg had been grabbed by, and I quote, one of those little green men from a spaceship. Obviously referring back to the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Right. Well, and they did see something in the air when they were heading there.
Yeah,
so, okay.
which is odd.
Okay.
What led her to that conclusion is anyone's guess, but skeptics were quick to speculate that Mrs. Johnson's leg had likely been caught up in an old fishing net, and that, combined with the Ohio River's undertow, created the illusion of being attacked by an unseen subaquatic predator. Others have theorized that the green-clawed beast is a mere earthbound cryptid, like so many others that have been attracted to the Ohio River basin and its many tributaries. It is brief, it is scary, it is actually one of the more famous ones, I think, that we've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's perplexing in that nobody saw it, really.
Yeah.
Like a flash of scales. And,
yeah.
And if the handprint wasn't actually on her leg,
Right.
you could almost be willing to
There'd be
dismiss it
no-
and say,
yeah.
you know, who knows if it was actually a claw.
Right.
But because it was a humanoid handprint, evidently, that's where the real mystery comes from. Because it's like, what kind of creature from the Black Lagoon-esque thing could be living in the Ohio River, and was it playing with her? Was it trying to devour her? Was it trying to drown her for shits and giggles? Was there an agenda?
If it was terror.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it an ultra-terrestrial sucking on the fear?
Oh, the ultra-terrestrial.
So, like, bringing her leg up and down, like milking the teat of terror and feeding off its succulent goodness?
The teat of terror.
Could it possibly be?
That's great.
I don't
But you know, like, say we've talked about Loveland Frogmen. Now, obviously, the first batch back in the mid-'50s were the parachute pants, wand-wielding,
Yep.
Firework
oddballs.
wielding.
Yeah, exactly. The failed Roman candle having, which is different from like the later one, which was more of like a amphibious or reptilian
Right.
frog thing.
Plus the Octoman.
And the indescribable, completely describable Octoman.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could have been one of those too.
Yep.
Or
Didn't
or
we do
who
a couple
knows
of
what.
other stories from the Ohio River Valley too?
We might well have.
I thought we did.
At this point, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
there's so
catch-all
much
for
from there.
weird. I mean, Ohio literally is just the fucking capital of bizarre.
Yeah.
When it comes, especially the Ohio River Basin. But this really is perplexing for a lot of reasons. One, like what stains, like any number of creatures could grab you. If you get grabbed by a chimp, you're going to lose your fucking face,
Right.
but your arm is not going to be stained a bright crimson for 3 days. Like, what causes that? Is it the specialized cave mud or whatever that allegedly was
even
on
if it's
it?
even whatever it is, I mean, it should unless it was grease based, maybe it wouldn't wash off your skin so easily. But if it's mud or dirt or clay, it should just come right off. Unless for some reason it's dug into your pores, but I would think grease.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, would dig into your pores. But the whole cave mud thing, though, because this apparently was sent out to Pittsburgh to.
The University of Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
allegedly.
allegedly,
That I
okay.
take with a big fat grain of salt.
Okay. Well, before we get too far, we'll start skeptically speaking here. They're saying that she got caught up in a net.
Or a fishing line.
Which wouldn't leave, which interestingly enough, I do have a story where I was fishing and I had my mom's dog with me, and the dog jumped into the river, and I'm like, shit, the dog was a cool dog. Remember my mom's dog, Zeke?
Yeah.
The little Scottish Terrier?
Right.
So we were fishing, he jumps in, and he would jump in the water all the time, but I was fishing well past him. And he got caught in the current, and he started kind of like going down the river, and I'm like, shit, my mom's dog, I gotta get it. So I go to get it, and I actually got caught up in a under the water was like a big like tree branch. And I got caught up in like one of those, like, you know, like how the branch branches off into different things. My leg got caught. And that made me think of that. Because my leg got...
Did it feel like something gripping you?
A little bit. It kind of did, but I swam into it. So it was like my knee and my leg was like caught. I mean, I wasn't like, oh shit. I freaked out for a second, but I'm like, oh, it's a tree. And I got out of it. But that's what made me think maybe she was...
God bless you for remaining cool, because if I felt something gripping me in mucky horror water, I would have lost my absolute shit.
I actually saw the tree from the shore. It was down. So I knew that it was there somewhere, and just so happens I got my knee caught. It wasn't a huge deal, but that made me think of this girl getting caught up maybe like a branch or something.
I mean, that's legit. If she swam 45
and
feet out.
I did save my mother's dog.
Oh, well, thank God.
Yeah.
People were probably concerned about that. I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, no,
part.
I really did save the dog.
Because I knew the dog didn't drown, so I guess I kind of knew the
best part
ending.
is that the dog would jump in the water, and he would stay close to shore and just kind of swim around a little bit until I saw him drifting, and I'm like, where's he going? Like, why are you leaving? I'm like, oh, he's not. He's being taken by the current.
Why are you leaving?
Yeah.
What is your agenda?
Taking off.
Zeke, why are you leaving? And I'm like, oh, shit.
Out of here.
So, so fishing net, possibly something grabbing
or tree
her.
branch, like you
tree
said.
branch.
Yeah. I mean, rivers move. I mean, they move.
Yeah, especially
and Ohio River's a mighty river.
Yeah,
if you get a good
they go pretty
undertow,
quick.
you're screwed.
Absolutely.
Like, you're going to get taken away.
So even an allegedly good swimmer like Naomi was, according to the report anyway, if her leg got caught up in a floating submerged bramble or a fishing net, and it's combined with the undertow, it could have yanked her down. Now, obviously, we're conveniently ignoring the handprint at this point because we're just trying to describe the situation.
It's weird.
But she's being apparently jerked under, and it still could be her struggling coming up, and then the weight of whatever she's wrapped
bringing
around,
her back down.
Yeah,
down.
I mean, if something's moving quicker underneath and it's constantly trying to pull, it's going to feel like you're bobbing.
Then it would do that.
It could give the illusion of something.
The handprint, though, the three. Now there was
pulling you
there
down.
was allegedly a photograph taken of this handprint.
And it's funny. I've followed this case. I wrote about this many years ago for American Monsters, and it wasn't until I was like kind of boning up on some more recent research that I came across two elements that I had never heard of before, and I incorporated them simply because we're here to report, not to create. And one is the apple bushel UFO.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the other is the alleged photograph and the samples sent to
Pittsburgh,
Carnegie Mellon or whatever, Pittsburgh University. So I had never heard of the photograph or the UFO before. I find it interesting and pointed out as just as just facts as they're stated. But again, I don't. That might be part of the apocrypha. I think the story as it stands, the famous part of the story is beat the heat, they go swimming, something drags.
Yeah.
And there's a really bizarre three-fingered huge palm print with finger and palm print, hand print, Jesus Christ, on the leg.
But just over in Kentucky, you got the Hopkinsville Goblins.
The very same.
Now, I haven't brushed up on this case in quite a while, but description-wise, do the Hopkinsville Goblins have three fingers?
Well,
I don't remember.
They had, I think, 2 fingers and a thumb. And this is where I'm not completely sure about the description of the green-clawed beast. Is it 3 fingers and a thumb, or is it literally
is it just like
2 fingers and a thumb, but it constitutes... Because, we all say we have 5 fingers. We don't go, we have 4 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Which we do, but we don't say it that way. So there is a chance...
So if it's like this... Or is it like this?
That is the same kind of hands.
Right.
But they were diminutive. They were about 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Silvery, kind of anti-gravity. Obviously, I say it a million times, but we will totally be doing the Hopkinsville Goblins at some point, and allegedly bulletproof, or at least when they got hit by bullets, they just sort of floated gently around. But they weren't particularly aggressive. They, I mean, who knows if they can function underwater or not? Who's to say? But I think the only reason she said it might have been one of these space people, grabbing me, is because, that had just been the phenomenon of the day.
Right.
Something that, hit all the airwaves and was surely the talk of, the multiple states that bordered the river.
So maybe she did have an encounter with a cryptid, but because of all the alien talk, she was like, oh, no, it was one of those little green guys.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think I'm more likely to go towards... Oh, this is kind of a tough one, actually, because they did see the UFO.
According to one report.
Right.
I'm almost comfortable setting that aside.
You want to take space off the table? Kind of like the devil?
I'll never take space completely off the table.
It just doesn't feel like that's a thing for this, really.
Yeah, because if there was, let's say, an extraterrestrial visitor or whatever, like, what do they get out of the ship and jump right into the water? Which I guess wouldn't be too odd if they're from a water world with Kevin Costner, then they might be inclined to want to jump into the water. You take a piss into your Mr. Coffee and you get Folgers out of it. That was a joke from somebody. I forgot who the fuck said that joke, but
I'm not sure what the origin is. But what we do know is that the Ohio River is literally chock full of bizarre entities, at least according to reputation and what people have seen. Like I say, we've dealt with at least 2 of them on this podcast.
We did have a listener tell us how there was that military installation based right off the Ohio River Valley,
right?
Which is kind of interesting. Which brings us to they got visited by an Air Force colonel or whoever.
And isn't that a weird twist?
That's kind of strange.
So while I was just willing and still am to take the UFO off the table, why would the Air Force colonel?
Why would they show up? Like, what the fuck do they got to do with anything?
Exactly.
It isn't the goddamn Navy.
It would be the Navy's purview, I guess.
Does
the
Navy
River.
deal with rivers?
They deal with water.
Yeah, but I mean, do they deal with rivers specifically? Aren't they like oceans?
You can't be asking me that as if I know.
We have, you know what? Hold on. We have active military members that listen to us. So you tell us, if you're in the Navy, do you guys deal with rivers?
It would make sense that would be the domain of the Navy.
Sounds like it would be like the Army Corps of Engineers, maybe.
Do you deal with rivers?
Because I saw a commercial where they were like building a bridge over a fucking river.
Engineers are going to build bridges. It doesn't mean they're in charge of water.
But maybe they are. I don't know.
All right.
I don't understand how the military works. I don't get it.
None of us do. Yeah.
Okay.
That's just facts.
So what branch of the military would be dealing with rivers? I think it's engineers.
But regardless, assuming that an Air Force colonel is telling the truth, why would he be interested in an aquatic attack? Why would he ask extensive questions? Of course, it could be a Men in Black thing. It could be somebody disguised as an Air Force colonel. It could be any number of things.
What a terrible way to disguise yourself.
It'd be weird.
Like Chris shows up, I'm an Air Force colonel.
It sounds terrible, but
shit.
Think of it. It's 55. People still have a lot of faith in military institutions at this point. It's pre-Vietnam. It's still the heady glow of the great victory of the Second World War.
Right.
The Americans are basking in it still. So if you have the uniform and all the accoutrement, people are going to want to trust you. They're going to be inclined to respect you.
So you think maybe it was inclined
to answer your questions. I don't know if it was a dupe, but assuming it wasn't a dupe, why would the Air Force be concerned with a random attack unless they thought there was some association with what happened in Kelly?
Could be.
Well, no. I mean, clearly they said the captain said not to speak of it
don't
or
talk
whatever.
about
So
it.
clearly
That's the other thing too.
That doesn't just imply nothing. That implies something.
But kind of like you were saying though, if it was something to do with the Kelly incident, if the Air Force is like, okay, well, we also have reports of this. If there's X amount of reports within the area of Kelly, they might send people out to be like, all right, let's gather some intelligence on this and figure out what to do with it to contain this fucker.
And the safest.
Safest? No,
Jesus
just
Christ.
keep going with it. It's fine.
The
safest.
You said safest.
The safest thing to do. The safest thing to do.
It was a gooder way of you to say it.
Jeez Louise. I'm so broken today. The safest protocol would be to just tell them all to shut up. Like, even if this guy didn't necessarily believe the story or think it had anything to do with the Kelly Hopkinsville moment or anything else, if they're out there just, like you say, collecting information on all of the strange incidents that occurred in this like short span of time in this relatively tight geographic area,
right,
then the basic protocol would be just don't say anything to anyone, la la. And it might become more sinister in the retelling.
Right.
Like maybe for them it's just like, let's not start a panic. Keep
that,
it under your hat.
That's true too.
No big deal.
Yeah. But maybe from their perspective, they're like, hey, look, let's get all the information. Tell them to keep it quiet just so that we can get all of our fact-finding done and then move forward from there. So, yeah, I could see that. Or maybe it was sinister and he's like, don't fucking say a word.
It could be.
We don't know.
Clawed
A
beast
secret,
gonna come back and
again,
cut
like-
your fucking legs off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dramatic.
Right from the fucking hips.
Jeez.
Yeah, you like that?
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, good.
You scared me
I
a
feel
little.
like they probably would have said if that's what happened.
If he said they, I think they probably would have reported it. It is kind of interesting. I mean, how many cryptid sightings do you get the government involved? Not a lot.
as many as
Not a
UFO
lot.
stuff.
Yeah, UFOs,
that's for
the
sure.
government's always there.
But who's to say it's strictly speaking a cryptid?
Right.
I mean, again, I always loved the aquatic assassin, that government experiment gone awry.
Oh, you think maybe this is an aquatic assassin?
Who knows?
Dude, emotional plants and aquatic assassins are like your jam. You love
I
it.
love them.
Do you think that, like, in your heart of hearts, does your aquatic assassin own like an emotional cabbage, like an emotional romaine lettuce?
You know, they might partner up from time
You think
to time.
so?
Yeah.
And he just like pats it and shit. And
like
he's
a
"You're so
veggie
nice."
man and,
Yeah.
and the old submersible killer.
All right,
Sure.
cool. Just want to put that out
Don't
there.
don't hate, man.
I'm not. People all the time are posting about emotional plants and your love, and there's a lot of pro Rob emotional plant love out there.
Thank you, people.
I think I say to say Chris
Thank
and
you
I.
so much.
Chris and I do not approve or agree. But
I'm going to have to learn to live with it.
like parents, we accept we accept
We
your
just want you to
choices.
be happy.
Yeah, we just want you to be happy. Just
Want you to be yourself.
just be happy.
Be comfortable in your own
And
skin.
just be happy with your emotional plants.
Hug your asparagus.
So not a lot of follow up afterwards as far as the blue mud or the handprint, and I mean it kind of leaves you with the question of, like we talked about earlier, are we dealing with an alien? Are we dealing with a cryptid? Because there is a lot of cryptid sightings in the Ohio River Valley, though, it kind of makes me want to go that way. But the Air Force guy is throwing me off.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm more fascinated is the broader spectrum here. Maybe unrelated, but the fact that, the Kelly Hopkinsville Goblin case, one of the most famous close encounters of the third kind in the history of America, probably the world. This other event that happens in the Ohio River, and then the batshit crazy Casablanca incident. I mean, is there... I wonder if there are other days like this where it just seems like
you've got
the veil
I would
between
assume, yeah.
the reality that is our commonplace where we exist and live day to day, and where weird fucking shit can infiltrate like that, it just becomes membranous thin,
Right.
And it just
Are you going
seems like
interdimensional with this?
shit leaks through. Why not?
Oh, all right.
I mean, it's nuts,
That's
and
even a
maybe
stretch.
it's a complete coincidence that it all happened in that really brief window, but I'm willing to say that something that obvious, you have to at least entertain the notion that there might be a reason why that much madness happens in that short frame of time. And at least in the case of the green-clawed beast and the Kelly Hopkinsville goblins, in that really tight geographic arena.
Right. All right, Christopher, what are your thoughts and feelings?
I don't know. There's kind of a lot to tie in. It doesn't mean they're connected, but it's hard to ignore it.
Okay.
And there's just weird shit in this story. A bushel UFO, some fucking Air Force guy, or it could be a fucking blue plastic bag. That fucking
I mean,
like-
really, yeah, it
like,
could
like,
come
what
down
the
to
fuck?
it. It really could
I
be
don't know.
a plastic bag and a fishing net.
I would love to see this fucking
The picture.
alleged photograph.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
To see it,
fucking key.
is it like a blue smudge, or does it really
I know.
look like a handprint?
Right.
Just to know for fucking sure what's going on.
How do
There's
you
all
lose
kinds
that?
of shit
How do
in
you lose
rivers.
that
Like, there's
picture?
just fucking...
The old colonel took it away.
Man. Yeah.
The old colonel.
The old
away.
colonel. Nice. The old colonel.
Taking it away.
Colonel Curmudgeon came and took it away and said, "Don't
And
talk."
You know what? We can't ignore, the first proposal, which is Milking the teat of terror.
No, the old terror teat.
I'm just telling you.
Teat to terror.
It's classic ultra-terrestrial.
Yeah, but that just seems like, I don't know, man. I mean, again, I know I'm a
Classic.
big proponent of putting everything under the same umbrella. It's interdimensional. It's a cult. It's this, it's that. But
It's a cult.
it's a cult. Yeah. Sometimes you
Clearly, this is a cult.
Clearly, this is, clearly. Yeah, totally. Green Claw Beast, Satan, totally. Could totally work. But sometimes just maybe you got to take a little bit of a step back and maybe narrow it down. I don't want to narrow it down. You know me. You know how I love my occult practice and things that go along with it as far as, aliens and cryptids and shit and all this thing being the same shit. You know this.
I do know that.
You know this.
Of course I know that.
I send you emails all the time and you don't read them, but that's fine.
I read them a portion of the time.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to probably go with just maybe some unknown Ohio River Valley cryptid, because I don't really see a lot of extraterrestrial activity happening there. I mean, besides the Colonel.
And besides the fucking Hopkinsville goblins.
Yeah, I know, but
But
shit.
that is not
Shit.
directly related.
Exactly. It's not at all.
Necessarily.
But it's not. Dude, if you're in Wyoming and you see a fucking Bigfoot and then someone in New Jersey sees something, you could probably, I'm sure daily, if you looked at reports, you could probably draw a conclusion that, okay, on this day, within an hour, these people saw all this weird shit.
You're absolutely right.
Like, you could totally do that.
And that would be valid if you were talking Casablanca to this.
Right.
But geographically, those two things are remarkably close.
But I wonder, like, in our own state of New York,
right.
if we said, okay, on a Sunday in August, how many people reported weird shit to move on? We could obviously look that up.
Sure.
You never know.
You're right.
Or even, like, cryptid sightings.
Sometimes a coincidence
Yeah,
is just a coincidence.
And don't read any deeper into it. I want to.
I know you do.
You want to.
Okay.
Always.
Chris wants.
It's magic.
Chris
It's a
doesn't want
magic
to.
hand.
Chris does not want to read
It's
into it at
no, he
all.
doesn't.
Magic
No, Chris,
hand.
Chris again is looking upon us with derision and scorn.
No.
Well,
but a lovely smile on his face.
Yeah, there's no scorn here.
No, okay, so maybe
Scorn free and
scorn free.
19. Andrew Yang 2020.
Andrew Yang 2020.
oh my God.
We need to contact Andrew Yang and be like, "We're rooting for you, buddy."
Dude, I bet you he would fucking hang
He
out
might.
with us.
He might. I mean, I had floated the idea at one point of maybe having Andrew Basiago, maybe possibly, but that might be a big interview that we can't tackle because we're just too much.
I think we're going beyond our purview here, guys.
I think we are.
This is not what we do.
No. Well, he did go to Mars, so
Oh, yeah.
he's a chrononaut.
He does travel through time.
There you go. Back to the green clawed beast. What do you think, Rob?
I think it's a weird, scary story. It's like a great rural legend.
That's
for
what it feels
lack of a
like.
better thing. It feels like it's scary. It's one of those things that if you saw a dramatic reenactment, you'd like tense up and clench your teeth and be like, "Oh fuck, is she gonna get away?
Yeah.
Come on, keep kicking." You can see somebody getting pulled under repeatedly. I mean, it harkens back to me late '70s movies like Piranha or Humanoids from the Deep. Wanting to breed and murder and do whatever. So I guess part of what I find appealing about the story is that it really smacks of great exploitation cinema of yesteryear, which I totally love. But that is not like what appeals to the cryptozoologist or crypto historian to me. The crypto historian to me is like, this probably has a pretty pedestrian explanation, pretty prosaic, and it most likely probably involves non-cautious swimming in a very dangerous river, and maybe like a fish or something. I mean, I don't know if it bit. If it was tooth marks, it'd be different. Well, there was lacerations all down her leg. Maybe it was like a, I don't know, pike or something. I don't know what's in the Ohio River. Something like kind of grabbing her and pulling her. And
If it's a pretty large catfish that could possibly
That's true.
latch on, I mean, some of those catfish can get pretty fucking big.
and they got those like sandpaper teeth, so it could like rasp at the skin.
Dude,
Could be.
just all
Maybe
kinds of
suction
shit,
marks
though.
would have created a
Sturgeon.
It wouldn't be blue-green, but maybe the illusion of a handprint.
Yeah, all right. Maybe we're dealing with
It
fish.
could be anything. There's tons of wood and branches and shit flowing. There's just all
Bramble
kinds
and
of crap.
garbage and all kinds of shit in
Don't
the
swim in a
rivers.
fucking river. Fresh water
Yeah, it
is
sucks.
so opaque and nasty. I would rather swim in an ocean anytime. Oceans are dangerous and full of fucking sharks and man-o-war and all sorts of things that will like, devour you. But fuck it. Because at least you see it coming, and you can like have a reasonable chance if you don't go out too far. Once you're in like mucky, horrible fresh water, you have no idea what's going to get you.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
All right, so the PSA, the G.I. Joe ending for this episode of the Kryptonaut podcast is don't swim in rivers, stay in oceans and or a pool.
Go in a pool.
A chlorinated.
Go to your local YMCA, support your local YMCA, and don't get grabbed by a fucking green-clawed beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better to swim in someone else's pee than be devoured by an unknown
Well,
entity.
luckily chemicals take care of pee, Rob.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I have a small pool that I maintain, so, pee away. I got chlorine. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Are you trying to admit something here?
Well, that I pee in my own pool?
Yeah.
No, good sir, because I don't swim. Oh, did you know that about me?
I did not.
I'm not a big swimmer. No.
Well, there you go.
There
Well,
you
none
go.
of us go in pools to swim. We go in the pool to just hang out in the water.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Cool
true.
down
So that
on
we're
a
just
hot
like,
day.
yeah, exercise.
Yeah, actually, I guess none of us are like Greg Louganising our way through a fucking pool.
We
so.
say swim. That's what the word you use.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you
no,
literally.
It's
yeah.
kind of like low energy frolic.
Yeah, not
hanging
even,
out
yeah.
in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there has to be a decent deck where you can like put like your beers and shit on.
Oh,
there,
absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, there you have it, the green clawed beast. Let us know what you think about that. Again, you can leave us some ratings and reviews in the iTunes, Apple Podcast apps. Always appreciate Patreon. Stick around for some shout-outs. Instagrams, Twitters, and Facebook. Also, too, on Facebook. Check out our Facebook fan group. It is super cool. It's a good time. Lots of cool stories there. And we'll be talking with you soon.
Absolutely.
And the summer's here, so don't go swimming in them damn rivers.
No, avoid that shit.
Yeah.
And,
Again, pool.
And be forgiving of this episode. We are 3 broken
I
bastards.
think we pulled it off all right. I mean,
think-
it's a
think
little
we
bit
know.
short, but we're good.
I don't think we were at our sharpest. I don't. You know
Yeah,
what?
well,
you can't be in your
what are you
prime
gonna
when
do?
you're broken. But I just wanted to. I wanted to thank
Look,
our
here's-
listeners for being tolerant.
Well, because our listeners they're all fucking awesome.
Yeah, they are.
They're all great.
They
but
are.
here's the
Absolutely
thing, too, is that we started the episode off saying how hungover and fucked up we got.
I'm
And
only
we're-
worse.
I mean, besides Chris, we're all still drinking. So,
Oh yeah, you got a hair of the dog.
yeah.
Doy.
Yeah. So maybe this is our problem.
It's absolutely a problem.
Okay, so we're asking for
It's
forgiveness.
your fault.
It's yeah. Oh, is it our fault?
Yeah.
Have you drink it all?
Today?
Yeah.
No.
I am
Oh,
going to
shit.
sleep so hard
Oh,
so
damn.
soon.
Yeah, me too. All right, stick around for some shout outs, and we're talking to you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Fare thee well.
Have a beer for us.
Indeed.
Alrighty, thank you for sticking around for the Patreon shoutouts. Thank you so very much for contributing to our Patreon campaign, and that is patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. I'm going to start off here with Kevin Belay. Kev Rock wins. What up, Kev? Kev sent us a package not that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
He's a tattoo artist, so thank you. Thank you very much, Kev. John Walega. Did I say that right?
Walaga?
Walaga. Okay, cool. Hunter Blevins. What up, Hunter?
Oh,
Hunter sent us a couple of packages.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a couple
And
dicks.
random drawings of dicks. So what up, Hunter? Thank you so very much.
We're going to continue with Eric Schwalb. That's a mouthful. God bless
Yeah.
you.
Schwalb. Yep.
Evan Witt. Matt Drew.
Oh
Yay.
shit! What up, Matt Drew? Matt Drew is a regular contributor to our Facebook group,
Yep.
and he's been a long time listener, and we're in contact with him quite a bit. So thank you very much, Matt.
Absolutely.
I got Rainey, Zool,
Ah,
Zool.
yes.
and Ghoul82, which is fucking
Oh,
rad.
nice.
Yeah, Ghoul82. That's dope.
Oh my God, is that a Misfit song?
It better be.
I've got Roman Shevchenko,
Nice.
Awesome.
Monkey13.
Yeah, actually, I follow him on Instagram.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
and Shauna Sullivan.
All right, cool. I
Dope.
got No Time
Toulouse.
to Lose. Okay, I
Yeah,
couldn't.
Toulouse-Lautrec, but Toulouse, that's
No
nice.
Time to Lose. Okay. Danielle of Shinsky.
Or
right?
Daniel.
Is it Daniel?
Yeah.
It's not Danielle. I am shit today.
Yeah.
Daniel of Shinsky. Cliff Reynolds.
Nailed it.
Got it. Sorry, Daniel.
And let me bring it home with Parker B. Amber Keller, Lane Galvin, and Katie Schultz.
I got one last one here. Talon Wise.
Oh, snap.
You didn't see that one down there, did you?
No, it wasn't.
didn't?
It wasn't lined up the
That's
same
right.
way.
The type got all fucked up.
Did you
There
do
it
that
is.
so you
Fucking
could say it and
type.
say it yourself? Because you know I would savor saying that name, but you wanted to steal it from me?
No, I messed it up when I was copying and pasting them over there. So there you have it. Thank you all so very much for your contribution to our Patreon campaigns.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
It means a lot to us.
It
We
really
are
does.
so very excited that you guys are on board with this. And again, at $1 will get you a shout out. $5 will get you a shout out and or bonus audio content.
You just- $11 will get you a shout out. $350 will get you a shout out.
I did actually.
2 shout-outs.
At one point, we put up in the Facebook group asking about like ideas for different tiers, and someone was like $350, and you get to have a picnic with you guys. And I was like, I would do it for nothing, really, just like
I love picnics.
supply the food, and we'll eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, if you're
Absolutely.
in the area and you want to I guess give a weird amount to our Patreon and be like, I want a picnic with you guys, like. I mean, keep it somewhat local, so we don't got to travel too far. But like, there's a Wasco Lake. We can go to like a nice lake picnic or something,
I mean, you sure?
or just meet us at a bar and we'll get fucking hammered.
That seems so
that's
much
better.
better. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That's the kind of picnic I want. Yeah, the hardwood picnic.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's like a picnic like at a park, then I can like invite my kids and they can play and I can get hammered. My wife can drive me home and drive you guys home.
Okay, well, we can bring the beer there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
I mean, I'm willing to drink wherever.
Yeah, no, so I'm not appalled to drinking anywhere like in public or anything. So
Right.
let's do it.
All right, yeah. So I guess picnic tier.
There you go. We'll have a picnic tier. Maybe we can get like a Darien Lake tier.
Oh, no.
I don't want to go during
Fuck that.
Am I the only one that wants to go to Darien Lake?
It's
100%.
Danger
Okay,
Town.
Fine.
And it's
fine.
lines. And it's heat.
The shit broke down when it was owned by Great Venture. Now that it's a Merc
Yeah.
amusement park,
Totally. It's a mercenary
Merc.
fucking
can't trust that shit.
It's bunk.
All right, how about a concert tier?
Well, maybe.
That might be kind of fun.
It depends entirely on.
It would just involve drinking and music.
Well, that's fun.
All right.
Okay.
Send us your ideas for future tiers, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Second goodbye.
Second goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we drink so much?
See ya.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, why? I didn't realize that you were that bad until the second episode that we recorded
Oh, dude,
tonight. You're
I'm-
fucking trash, dude.
I could barely read.
You are
I don't
human
even-
garbage.
Oh, I'm
my God.
thrice burned garbage.
All
I'm
right.
fucking like manure shoveled into the fucking pen of despair.
Really?
I don't know.
Are you manure sure back into a butt?
I was trying to figure out what do they make? What do they make out of fucking manure? Like it's that shit that like fertilizes things.
It's called fertilizer. They make fertilizer
No,
out of
but
manure.
Yeah, but it was like not mulch or something. I don't know.
I'll be talking to
I'm
you.
so fucking done right now. Oh my God, I need to die.
Oh God. See ya. The Air Force guy is kind of tossing me off. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
You
you
just
just said
did
that the
that.
worst possible way you could say
Totally.
okay,
something.
cool. All right, wait. Where should I start from?
No, it's funny.
It's completely staying.
Oh, no.
It has to.
Do you not realize what you just said?
No, what did I say?
The Air Force guy's kind of tossing me off.
How did you know?
All right.
The Air Force guys just kind of tossed me off.
Like he's fucking. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So where can I-
over in 14.
all right, where can I?
Oh my God.
Where can I pick
Oh,
up?
Outtake City.
Where can I pick up?
You want to think it's a cryptid, but
Okay.
But the Air Force
Force
guys
guys
just
tossing
yeah.
me off.
All right.